now with a skyrocketing housing market.
Potential buyers were lining up outside.
The question, how long can this boom really last?
So, is the housing market in a bubble? Well, prices in February were up just over 10%.
Wow. Well, if you're buying a house, you're definitely pretty much, let's call it what it is, you're pretty much screwed if you're buying a house. I mean, this whole thing is just insanity right now, guys. And, you know, if you're buying a house for the first time, congratulations. Actually, I'm being sarcastic. Not really congratulations. It sucks. And it really sucks for people who are buying houses for the first time. And it sucks for people who are buying houses for the second or third time. You're looking to upsize or you're looking to downsize. It just pretty much sucks for everybody who's a home buyer in today's market. I mean, home values are going up 15, 20% in, you know, pretty much in every single area in the country. If you have a house to sell, a single family house, and you just pretty much throw it in any suburb in America, you're bound to have about 20 offers within hours. I mean, hell, you might just have 20 offers before it even hits the market. I mean, as soon as the realtor is putting the yard on the sign on the yard, I mean, you're gonna have people literally rushing to, you know, to send an offer to the property. And, you know, guys, I'm a mortgage lender and I see this stuff every single day. So I'm talking to you from experience. This is not because I watched a bunch of YouTube videos or I watched the news and I'm making a video about what's happening. This is actually stuff that my clients are going through right now. And it's really sad to see because, you know, if you're a first-time home buyer, this is really, you know, it's really emotional, right? I mean, and you're definitely hopeful, you're excited, and maybe you got approved for an FHA loan, and you're coming to the realization that you might as well you might just have to rent out for another year, you know? And it's pretty sad because, you know, government loans are not bad loans. It's just, you know, sellers right now, they want to take either a conventional offer from a buyer who's offering 10-15% over asking because there was a bidding war on the same house, or they just have a cash buyer who's offering full price, closing in a week, and what the hell, he might be even offering 10% over asking price. So guys, in this video, basically, I just want to talk to you about what's really going on and my 3 main reasons why these values are going to, you know, keep going up for, I'm going to just kind of hold what my prediction is going to be. But, you know, and obviously the media, if you guys are watching the news and everything, you know, you have everybody saying it's because of, you know, the lumber prices and the price of construction and stuff like that. I agree with some of that, but I have my own reasons as to why these values are just going up like crazy. And let's go ahead and get going. Basically, guys, my top 3 reasons why these values, these home prices are just going up like crazy. The first one is, listen, it's all supply and demand. At the end of the day, it's, yeah, you have economics and obviously supply and demand is basically economics, but it's just really simple. 38% of all buyers right now are millennials. And that was actually a survey they did last year in 2020, where 38% of the buyers are millennials. The oldest millennial is 40 years old. I mean, you just think about it. You have millennials who are pretty much the biggest home buying population. And what's happening is these millennials are, you know, the starting family. So obviously there is a need to expand. There's a need to grow. Millennials can, you know, they tend to be more tech savvy. So the ability to work from anywhere, that's huge. And obviously COVID just completely changed the way, you know, people do business. It changed the way how people live. You can, you know, you soon realize that you can work out from home, right? You buy a Peloton and now you cycle at home. You buy the mirror thing, right? Where you just basically follow a workout or whatever have you. And then you know, you have to entertain at home because you have the family at home. So you need a bigger kitchen. You need more rooms because, I mean, what the hell? You might not even stand your wife the whole day, every single day, right? Both of you guys are at home. And so then basically that's kind of what's happening, right? I mean, you have the millennial population being the biggest population for home buyers at the moment. And then on top of it, you know, sprinkle in the fire that there's just really not enough sellers. You know, obviously the supply just sucks, you know, because it makes sense, right? I mean, if you bought a house 5 years ago or 7 years ago, it maybe was your first home. You get it at a really, really, really good price. So kind of like what's happening, especially in my market. I live in Atlanta, Georgia, and what's happening is that a lot of people that bought a house back in 2015, 2016, 17, those were their first homes. And when you buy the first home, that's kind of like the one where you're just getting in because you need a place to live. It's not gonna be the forever home. Nobody nowadays pays a 30-year mortgage from day one all the way to whatever month 360, right? So the logical thing is to get some equity. You're not paying rent anymore. You're paying to build equity in the house, and then you sell. You have a lot of equity, and then you get to move up into something bigger. Life changes. You grow. You have kids and wife or husband, whatever have you. So you want the kids to be in a better school system. Typically, inner cities don't have the best school system, so it makes sense to go into the suburbs, right? So, obviously COVID happens and then it just fuels the fire. Everybody has to do the same thing. It's pretty much, so to speak, right? If you were living in a condominium, by the way, we're going to be talking a little bit about condominiums in a minute in this video. If you live in a condo and you live in a 1-bedroom condo or a studio or even a 2-bedroom, it's just not big enough if you're a couple. If you work in the city, there's really just it doesn't make much sense, right? It doesn't make much sense to stay in the city. Everything is shut down. Bars, restaurants, entertainment, are shut down completely. And so what do? I mean, you're going to be stuck in a condo the whole day? Of course not. And obviously now, guys, I'm talking about 2020. 2021, things are opening up again. And obviously everybody, you guys are living in different states. Here in Georgia, I mean, things have been sort of open, since maybe October last year, September last year. So it hasn't been as bad as other places like California, Washington State, etc. But, just going back to 2020, that's basically what's happening, right? So you have a rush of new buyers who are just trying to expand, trying to get into these houses. And the market in 2020 wasn't really as bad as what this whole craziness is right now in 2021. So, we have all these millennials, we have all these home buyers right now. We have very little supply. The country shuts down. I mean, the world shuts down. So, what's happening is all the supply chains are stopping. The cost of building has tremendously increased. Obviously, the cost of lumber is like at the highest levels in history. The cost of windows are at the highest levels in history. Pretty much any raw material to build a house is at the highest levels in history, and that's not helping because if you're a first-time home buyer and you're looking to move up, most of the time, I'm not saying that it's all the time, it makes sense to go from an older home into a newer house. And obviously, because newer homes are just prettier and, they have all the things, all the bells and whistles. I know you might be overpaying for basically, a new house and whatnot, but most people don't see it that way. But when the price of new houses are just increasingly going up because they cannot keep up with the demand. And, we're finding I've never seen this before. We're finding buyers, bidding wars at a construction site. It's insane. It's insane. So yeah, obviously, you know what I mean? Like everybody's wondering, when the hell is this thing going to come to an end, right? I mean, when is the market crashing? When is the market crashing? Because it has to crash at some point, right? That's what most people think. Most people think, okay, well, I'm just going to go ahead and sit right here on the sidelines and I'm just going to wait for this market to crash. Well, if you're waiting for the market to crash, guys, I got bad news for you. It's not going to crash. It's not going to. But before I even talk about that, I want to talk about my third point, why, these values are going up like crazy. So we already got, supply and demand. We have, the millennial population are the biggest home buying population right now at this moment. The third thing, guys, is mortgage interest rates. Listen, when you have rate at pretty much at almost at zero, listen, it just makes the ability to take on a bigger mortgage a lot easier. It's just simple economics, okay? So I'll give you a little quick story. So back in early 2020, mortgage rates were about 4.25%, 4.5%. This is obviously before COVID. So we're talking about January, February 2020. we're talking about a 4% mortgage, 4.25. Listen, though that's still a very good interest rate. Okay, that's a really good interest rate. You talk to anybody who had a mortgage back in 2007, and they'll just laugh. But people got amnesia. Obviously, nobody remembers 2007 anymore. But a 4% mortgage is still a really good interest rate. Anyways, mortgage rates go all the way down to 2.5%. Back in October, November of last year, I was locking in some of my clients at 2.5% interest rate on a 30-year fixed mortgage. Insanity, okay? And if you were getting an FHA loan, actually people back in 2020 were able to get FHA loans. Not right now, but FHA loans were like at 2.25% or something crazy like that. And I'm just gonna give you an idea on why this is important, why low interest rates are also just adding more fuel to this whole fire. If you're buying a $400,000 home, or if you're getting a $400,000 mortgage, let's just put it that way. You're getting a $400,000 mortgage, just on principal and interest. If the interest rate is 4.25%, so that's going to have you at a payment of about, I actually wrote it down here, $1,967 a month. All right. So $1,967. If you get the same mortgage, so $400,000, and you get it at 2.75%, which was the interest rate 4 months ago, back in November, at 2.75%, the monthly payments drops to $1,632. So that's $1,632. That's a difference, ladies and gentlemen, of $335 a month. I mean, that's a lot of money. That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money. So yeah, the same person that was not able to qualify for a $400,000 mortgage back, a year ago, back in 2019, beginning of 2020, that couldn't qualify for a $400,000 mortgage, were only able to qualify for something around $275, because literally a monthly payment on a $300,000 mortgage at a 4% interest rate is roughly $2,000, right? So when you have the interest rates just go down, almost 2 percentage points, that increases the purchasing power almost $100,000 for a home buyer. There you have it. There you have it. I mean, you can't just increase the purchase power so much. That's why you're seeing houses that were selling for $250,000 2 years ago now sell for $370, $380, $400, right? So that's kind of what's happening right there, guys. That's basically my 3 reasons why the whole these prices are just continuing to blow up, right? And obviously now I'm just going to go ahead and jump in. I'm just going to go ahead and jump in and say why prices are not going to come down anytime soon, okay? And when I say anytime soon, I'm talking about 2021. Home prices are going to keep going up in 2021. You're going to start seeing them decrease a little bit in 2022, because at some point there will be, obviously we're going in this roller coaster. It's going up. It's fueled. It's really, really fueled, but they're actually going to be level enough. And then there won't be a crash. There won't be a crash. There will be a correction. And I'll tell you why there will be a correction in a minute. But the first thing, guys, with the slowdown is going to happen, number one, when mortgage rates go up, okay? So the moment mortgage interest rates start to go up, it's going to slow things down. And I know a lot of people are probably going to disagree with me on this, but I am actually one of the, when I talk to a lot of loan officers, a lot of people in my industry, I'm probably one of the very few who wants interest rates to go up. And I mean, literally the reason why, it's because it'll definitely help slow this stuff down, okay? If you're selling a home, this is a great time for you to sell a house. You're selling at the highest property values in history. It makes sense to sell, right? But when you don't have anywhere else to go, it becomes a problem. So this stuff is going to go down a little bit once the rates go down. Once the rates go up. I'm sorry, and we'll start seeing it when the rates start to creep up on the high threes, and then especially if we head over back to the 4s, it's definitely going to slow things down, because I just gave you guys an example on the difference between in payments between a $400,000 mortgage at 2.75% and a 4.25%. It's $335 a month. That's a lot of money for a lot of people. Okay. So that'll definitely slow it down. Now, the other reason why it'll, things are going to start to go down a little bit, or they're going to start to stabilize, is going to be because sellers will understand that this is the best market to sell. And maybe, just maybe, if they're smart enough, and I would say if they're smart enough, this is the best market to sell and then go rent. Because if I'm actually, if I'm cashing out a lot of money right now, and I want to speculate, because at the end of the day, guys, we can just all discuss about why, when this whole thing is going to come crashing. We can just speculate. But if you are sitting on a lot of equity and you don't want to jump up into now going from having a nice $200,000 mortgage with a very low payment into a $600,000 home where your payment's gonna go up quite a lot, and you wanna and you're seeing opportunities in different asset classes. You're seeing opportunities in the stock market. You're seeing opportunities in the crypto space, and you just don't want to take all the money and throw it down on on the down payment of another home just so that you can keep the monthly payments low. Then it'll be smart for people to go back and rent. I know, yeah, a lot of people don't want to do that, obviously, but I'll show you why this actually makes a lot of sense. So let's go ahead and jump in the computer. I want to show you guys a few things. Jumped in the wrong slide, but here's why this makes sense. My rent argument. This was an article back in November 2020 on CNBC. Rents in big cities are falling due to COVID. Here's how to negotiate a monthly payment. Obviously, now we're about 4 months, ahead of this article. But in October of 2020, the national rent index fell 0.4% according to real estate data site Apartments List monthly report. I want to see if this monthly report has anything more updated. I don't think it does, but yeah, I don't think it does. But rents are dropping, guys. Rents are dropping. And, in a lot of investors, as a matter of fact, a lot of investors are considering selling because, it makes sense. Okay. If you own a portfolio of homes right now, the government has this whole, eviction moratorium going on right now. It doesn't make sense to lease out your property to a, on a long-term lease, because you don't know if that person is going to lose their jobs due to COVID, right? You don't want to be in that situation. And if your property is not sitting in a location where, it's where it's actually attractive for short-term rentals like Airbnb, Verbo, and all the other short-term rental websites, then what's the point of putting a long-term rental in a property that might not be able to pay for it, right? And that's actually the people who are going to be getting screwed over, guys. It's not going to be the corporations, right? It's not going to be the hedge funds. It's not going to be the pension funds, the mutual funds who are speculating on this kind of real estate, especially the hedge funds that are buying millions of houses right now in cash. But it's going to be the mom and pop investor who has one or two properties. Those are truly the people who are getting screwed right now in this market, because if they have a tenant right now, there's that eviction moratorium until the health crisis is over. You tell me who's gonna be paying for that house. If they have a mortgage, then their best bet is actually to do a loan modification. And I'm actually not entirely sure if you can do a loan modification on an investment property. I think that's only available for primary homes. So the mom and pop investor is getting completely screwed over. Yes, if they own a single family home, the value, at least that value, is increasing right now. But if they own a condo, it sucks. The condo market right now sucks. And again, we're going to be talking a little bit about the condo market in a little bit, but the condo market right now sucks. But if you're renting a condo, I mean, prices are just falling. The condos right now are nowhere where single family homes are. And I don't see it anywhere in this country where condo prices are keeping up with single family homes in the suburbs. Okay. And that's really going to be my next thing, guys. There's not going to be a crash. Really, my reasoning as to why there's not going to be a crash is because even though this is an unhealthy way of values going up in real estate, mortgage lending is very, very difficult to attain. At least compared to when there was the last market crash. When now we're talking about, the market crash back in 2007, right? Where the market crash in 2007 was due to, bad lending. You had, people who were, who could not, they couldn't take a mortgage. They were not calling anybody, just so you know, okay? Just so you know. But you can't have people making minimum wage buy $300,000 homes that they can't afford. But they were only able to afford it because the mortgage lender was lying on their mortgage application, and they lied on the mortgage application. But guess what? Nobody cared, right? They just put it on a piece of paper. The no income, no asset loans, right? Or just being able to buy a house and get additional money on top of it to fix it and get 2-3 mortgages at closing. That's not happening. That doesn't happen anymore. And that's why, when a lot of people talk about the crash, the real estate crash, it's not going to be because of bad lending. Okay. Bad lending caused the 2007 crash, right? Fraud caused the 2007 crash. There's really very little fraud right now in real estate. This is just completely different. And that's why there's not going to be a crash. So if you're waiting for the market to crash 20 to 30%, and I will say that's really what a crash is, you're going to be waiting for it, because I don't think that's ever going to happen. It's very regulated how lenders make loans to buyers. If you get in a conventional loan, you have to show credit, you're going to have to show income, you have to show assets for closing. If you get an FHA loan, it's the same way. And hell, right now, there's really very few sellers selling houses to an FHA buyer. VA loans, same way, right? USDA, same thing. You got to show all the things. You got to show everything. And believe when the lender is really checking for absolutely everything. There are some loans out there where there's no need for taxes. There's no need for a lot of documentation, but the buyer has to put up big down payment, right? So, bank statement loans are coming back, or they've come back for the last couple of years, where literally the lender just looks at the bank statements, but that buyer has to put down 10, 20%. Trust me, there's not going to be a lot of people walking away from their homes if they put down 20%. So if you guys are waiting for a crash where people are going to be putting their houses in foreclosure, it's not going to happen. All right. People are not going to be walking away from their equity positions when things start to slow down. All right. Even those who took advantage of the forbearance, right? They're going to be able to do loan modifications. That's already in place. So if somebody didn't make their payments for 6 months, they could do a loan modification. And basically a loan modification is a way for the lender to renegotiate the terms on the mortgage. And typically what happens, the most popular loan modification is the one where the lender extends the loan out for 40 years and then they drop the interest rate to something extremely low. Back in 2010, 11, when loan modifications were really popular, they will drop the interest rate to like 2% for 5 or 6 years. And then it'll increase to whatever, maybe like a 4% interest rate. So the loan modification is a sweet deal, literally, for anybody who missed payments. And that's basically what's going to happen. You got all these people who didn't have to make a payment for 12 months. If they don't extend that, because they might just extend that once again, then they're going to be able to jump into a loan modification, and then they're going to be fine. They're going to be fine. Their home's value went up, with all this craziness. They're going to be able to get a mortgage for 40 years. That's going to drop their payment even more. And obviously now they're going to be able to get even a lower payment. So that's the reason why the market's not going to crash. There will be a correction though. There will definitely be a correction. Believe that. There will be a correction of about 5 to 10%. And I'm completely all in for it. And I think a lot of people are. It's just not sustainable for prices to keep going out the way they are every single month, because it's just incredible. It's crazy. I know a lot of people are saying that, yeah, one of the reasons why the prices are going up is because you are having all these hedge funds, these big money players, investors. And yeah, even though that might be true, it really is not as big as the first 3 reasons that I mentioned to you. You have more buyers than sellers. You have, the millennials. You have the mortgage interest rates at very much, record lows. And then you just have a lot of people with equity in their homes anyways, that bought houses 5, 6, 7 years ago that really have a lot of equity and can actually cash in on this market right now. So go ahead and go over a couple of things, guys, that I want to show you, because Now I'm really going to show you where is the opportunity in real estate, okay? And to me, I think there's not many people talking about this, which is crazy. It's driving me crazy. The biggest opportunity in real estate is not in houses, not in single family houses. We all know a single family house is just going up like crazy. And it's just not, I don't love it. If I'm looking to invest in a property, whether I'm buying a home or I'm actually thinking about buying an investment property, single family homes is not it at the moment, all right? Unless you're finding really a great deal, maybe knocking on doors, wholesaling, something along those lines, then that makes sense. But I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys this right here. And it's not this one, it's that one. COVID forcing condos to sell a record 17% discount to homes in the US. You see that? Starting to see? The condominium market is not catching up. It's nowhere where the single family houses are. According to national US property broker Redfin, in the COVID pandemic war of 2020, the typical single family home that sold in the US this year was purchased for an average of 17.3% more than the typical condo. That's it, guys. The market right now, if you want a deal, you want to get in a condo at this moment, all right? You want to get in a condo at this moment. And it's you know, and a lot of people are actually not expecting condos to make a comeback for another year or so. I don't think these prices are gonna go up. I know that there's a lot of people talking about a rebound in the condo market. I think that's a little bit, it depends on what kind of area you are. So you definitely want to do your own research. But if you guys are able to find a condominium that is very, you know, has a really good HOA. That's the biggest thing with condos, is to find a condo that has a really good HOA, maybe you know, a lax HOA that has no rental restrictions and things like that. Then that's a really good opportunity, especially if you're a first-time home buyer. Okay, so first-time home buyers, I'm just calling you guys out right now. That's my advice. Hopefully, if you stuck around this video, which is already 26 minutes long, first-time home buyers, this is your deal. This is where you're going to be able to not compete against 30 other crazy offers, okay? Suck it up. You don't have to buy a 4 or 5 bedroom house right now. Buy a 2-bedroom condo. Buy a townhome even. I mean, hell, even townhomes right now are going up like crazy in value. Buy a condo, all right? Buy a condo. I live in Atlanta, Georgia, guys. I mean, there's so many condos for sale at this moment. People are just dying. Hell, I'm selling a condo right now. And my condo's been on the market for the last 3.5 months. I can't get a single bite on it, okay? And it's a condominium under 200,000, no rental restrictions. Maybe I'm even just giving you guys a shout out. Maybe somebody will want to send me an offer or something, right? But literally, the condo market right now is the prime market to get a good deal. You guys are getting in at just a discount already, okay? These prices are low for condos compared to single family homes, and everything always comes back, okay? When real estate falls, unfortunately, the very first market that falls is the condo market, and then comes the single family home market. But the condo market's already falling, okay? 17%, that was last year. It hasn't recovered. This is a good time to buy a condominium. If you're a first-time home buyer, you're sick and tired of, you know, competing against 30 offers. You just can't get anything under contract. Look for a condominium. Look for a condo right now. That's a good opportunity. By the way, I'm going to give you guys, just to kind of just wrap up this whole video. If you're buying a condo, the biggest thing is going to be the HOA, okay? Obviously, location is important, but if you have an HOA, if you have an HOA that doesn't have crazy restrictions, you know, you might be able to really get a good deal on a condo that can eventually become an investment property. So you buy this condo with a 3% down payment. You know, you can get even an FHA loan on a condominium. Obviously, there are some condos that don't qualify for FHA or VA financing, but you can get a conventional loan on a condo, 3% down, easy, no fuzz, okay, no fuzz. And then as soon as you close on the condo, what you want to do is you want to get your name on the I completely forgot. On the rental list, okay? You want to be eligible to be able to rent your unit. And I'll tell you why. The first thing is, obviously, maybe it's going to take about 2 years until you're right there to rent to rent the unit. So you're living in the property, no big deal. But maybe 2 years from now you're gonna move. You're gonna move to your house, right? Makes sense. Great, then you lease the property. You can rent it, right? Because that's the biggest thing. The rental restriction for condos they suck, right? And you know what? If you're not going to rent the property, but you're planning to sell it within a couple of years, and your name is at the top of the list of the owners who are able to rent it out, you can actually pass that to a future buyer. That's going to give you a lot of value, because a lot of buyers, you're going to open the door to investor buyers, right? Investors who want to buy condominiums. And if you're able to sell it to an investor because they're basically going to be grandfathered in, then you just open the door to another opportunity. So guys, that's my, that's the play right now. If you're able to, buy a condo at this moment, I should make this video about condos but literally, this is all the opinion from a loan officer, guys. This is what I do for a living. But the opportunity in housing at this moment is the condo market, until you want to go ahead and wait for the next 12 months, because stuff is not going to end. It's not going to end throughout the summer. It'll be another, and actually I'll cut it off with this video right here so that you guys can see exactly what I'm talking about.
Year.
I was just shocked that many people were really interested.
This townhome owner walked away with $95,000 more than she paid for it 5 years ago.
I was able to sell it within 2 weeks.
You still have the option of doing it individually.
USF economics professor Dr. Chris Jones predicts buyers won't see any relief in housing costs for the next 18 to 24 months.
I don't think you're going to have the drop off the ledge like you did in 2008.
Dr. Jones says it will take another uptick in mortgage rates, an increase in the number of homes built, and a price point at which people can no longer afford to buy homes for prices to drop.
I think you're going to have a slower decline, but still a decline over a relatively brief period of time.
And
that's it, guys. Hopefully this video was helpful. If you liked it, if you enjoyed it, make sure to subscribe to the channel, give it a thumbs up. It definitely helps. Brand new channel, guys. Help me out here, and share with anybody that you feel will get some value as well. And listen, if you're buying a house, good luck to you. If you're buying a house, just be sure also comment down below. Okay, let me know exactly what are some of the pains that you're going through. If you're selling a house, or if you're a homeowner, you're definitely having a great time on this one, because it's all you, baby. You got it. You definitely put your house up on the market and sells just like that. Congratulations if you are. Really happy for some of you that got in the housing market a couple of years back, and even last year. Congratulations. But anyways, guys, let me know what you think about the video. Give me some feedback on what are your thoughts about this whole crazy market, and well, hopefully things get better for everybody. And I will see you guys until the next one. Goodbye for now.